In today's video, I've got a very special guest. Kerrod Gray joins me, and we're going to be talking all things takeaway. So stay tuned. There's lots of gold in this, and you're going to find it really, really beneficial.
All right, Andy, so let's talk about the takeaway, mate. So specifically based around, we see a lot of players that first move as they take the golf club away, that head swings in violently, handle can sometimes lift out. We see that the face also opens. And you spend a lot of time with Pete Cowen. He's got a great drill to rectify this also common issue, right?
I was going to say, it's probably the most common issue in takeaway. There's always one hand that becomes a little bit more dominant than others, or at least you're not aware of it until you kind of start to feel it. And predominantly it's the lead hand that kind of wants to take over during that takeaway. So as you said, the hand then can start to work out away from the body, and the club starts to work in. So straight away your lead hand is the dominant hand, and the trail hand is kind of a lot more passive. So what we try and do to square this up is feel like the trail hand is equally as dominant as the lead hand. So we don't want to feel like any hand is more dominant than the other, because if you come back to setup here and you pop that back in front of your chest, everything is working on an equal measure.
Correct.
So when we bring the club back into the takeaway position here, we want to still feel like the hands are staying in front of the chest. You're almost, as you look down at your hands and arms there, that almost looks the same as if you had it when you're in that kind of setup position. So if you go back into setup again, obviously you look down there, you can see the tops of both hands. If you were to come away and get it on the inside, as you look at your takeaway now, you can't really see much of the trail hand. You see a lot more of the dominant hand. So, the lead hand. So what we want to try and do, and Pete talks about this a lot, is making the hands work opposite each other equally. So effectively, for us right-handed golfers, the left hand will, for me, I feel like the left hand turns to the right, and the right hand turns to the left. And if we both get them working exactly the same, then that club face is stable. And one of the really, really good drills that we do a lot of is the old towel drill. And what you're going to try and feel, you can hold it like baseball grip, and you just feel if you were to do the takeaway and bring the club inside and it would be kind of just the lead hand that's dominant, the trail hand wouldn't do anything to the towel. So you get them working equally opposite each other, you're effectively squeezing out the towel. So imagine this towel is soaking wet. How do you wring the water out? And you would do it by working the hands equally opposing.
That's great. I've never seen that, and that feel, even when I'm standing here and just building awareness, and with a lot of the players that I coach, building awareness of this backhand, this trail hand, right hand for the right hander, of that having some control of that golf club, because we see so very often this thing is just sitting here as a passenger, and you'll see that players' thumbs will start to come off, their grip will start to loosen.
The pad of the hand comes off as well.
And I'm a big proponent of seeing that the chest is the engine for the backswing. And you articulated that in such a way which works very well for the majorities of golfers, because it's almost the feeling that as this right hand, for myself being a right hander, starts to twist towards the target, it keeps the hands in front of the chest, right? So it's that feeling of, as soon as this became dominant or becomes dominant, we can see the mass of the head's going to move behind, this lead wrist starts to move into a position where it started to face the sky, and then look, we can see straight away it's well behind us.
And a lot of players then come to you for a lesson. When they're coming to you for a lesson, they go, I need to improve my wrist hinge at the top. And you're like, well, yeah, okay, but there's a reason why you've progressed into that position, and we could probably continue this all the way through the backswing, and eventually we come back to the takeaway and go, as soon as that right hand or trail hand has effectively rotated, forearms have rotated, where are you hinging from there anyway? So you're just kind of manipulating something at the top of the backswing. And you could end up kind of cupping it to help you get to the top, because once you get there, to help you get to the top of the backswing, you can kind of really get that trail. That's the easier way to get to the top then, isn't it? You get the club in there. How do I get up? Well, you just cup it up.
And I would
say
this
you get
is
super open. So
players trying to support the weight of the club.
Of course,
right?
it is,
And they will do that by either folding their arms really quickly, or like you said, as soon as you start to do that, it feels more in control if I begin to cup my wrist. But from there, good luck.
The face is not happy. The face is not happy with that, and the golf ball especially will be really unhappy because it's lost. Okay, so I think the really good feeling for this is, like you said, effectively feeling like your trail hand is turning, and I always say feel like you're closing the face, because especially if you're a golfer that kind of fans it on the inside, you're going to need to feel like you're closing the face. You're going to have to feel that kind of opposing, completely opposing feel to counteract the fault. So you got a bit of an exaggerated feel. Okay, how can I get the face to literally be pointing at the ground? How can, when you look down at the takeaway here and you look at the trail hand, can you see the back of it? Can you see one or two knuckles?
And that gives you the hinge as well.
Exactly, just about to say that. You get this hinge in the back of the right hand as well. You get, and if I was to actually then go from there and just turn my body 90 degrees and put that club back down, look at that. That's a very happy place to be. Okay, because I've got a bit of compression, I can start hitting down on the golf ball. So we're able to control the club really early on in the swing. And also as well, if you take your grip as well for me, this is a really good way of kind of feeling it, because the feedback I do get from this a lot is I feel like I'm strangling the club. Because you're obviously starting to feel that opposing feel. But what I want you to do, if you pull it up waist height and just push the club away from you, but squeeze the hands against each other, what's that face doing? Well, absolutely zero.
And the thing is it actually encourages, due to the fact that the right hand for the right hander is lower in the grip than the left, is as I push that, you can see now the handle moves forward, which, there
we go.
It's exactly what we see on TV, right?
It's a really good couple of drills. And like I said, the feel of it and the visual of it, being able to understand what you want to be looking for as you get into that takeaway position, understanding what the face should look like is key.
All right, so let's pass me that towel. I'm going to get a quick feel of that, and then I'm going to put that into my golf swing. So normal grip, is there any space between?
I would say go really close together.
Really close together.
Just like a baseball grip. And then just imagine it's full of water. You're going to dry it out for me.
Yeah. And as soon as I do that, I actually feel I activate more of my core and encourage that to move in such a way where I'm able to maintain that relationship between my upper body and my arms staying in sync. And I get back to there. If I stand up and face the camera, you can see hands perfectly in front.
That's always a really good way of doing it. Just take yourself into the takeaway and then just turn your whole body back that 90 degrees to the side, and you're like, oh wow, okay, this is back into that same.
Just don't do this as a pre-shot routine on the every tee box and go, yep, that's good, get back. And
playing partners will love you.
Okay, so let's turn this into a shot, mate. Let's see how it comes out. So I'm feeling specifically now a lot of focus, mind muscle connection on that trail hand, feeling like I'm twisting it as opposed to what the left is doing. Beautiful. I love that. Gets my body pivoting a lot better. Got a good feeling about this one, Cards.
So do I. Oh, so good.
I'll tell you what, that compression there.
So good.
Takeaway felt very in sync. Hands in front of the chest. Club face certainly wasn't rolling behind.
Just got control.
Love it.